Hello and welcome. I'm Tim, and this is SV Paquita. And I've had kind of a tough day today, but boy, has it just gotten a lot better. So it started this morning. Probably not feeling my best because the Irish lads were over and they drank all my beer. I'm not letting them drink any more of my Spanish wine anymore. Unfortunately, we broke into some other stuff in the liquor cabinet, and I got to realize I'm not 25 years old anymore. Then the wind was blowing pretty hard, and I go to heave up, and the anchor was stuck in a rock. Fortunately, I dove down, popped it right out, and it was no big deal, and got underway. Bob helped me with that. I left Bob on the boat just in case I needed him to drive ahead to take some pressure off, that sort of stuff, pressure off the line while I popped the anchor. And that was good. Then we got underway, and once again, windy and predict wind seemed to have things much different than we actually experienced. What am I talking about? The wind was supposed to be from the west, and we were going to have a nice broad reach sailing down the coast south, but the wind was right out of the south. Even got up to like 22 for a while. It was pretty nasty and not fun at all. So I looked over, and they kept saying that the wind was going to shift over to the west, so I found this little cove 22 miles up or whatever, and if we just ducked in underneath it, we might be able to get a little bit of lee from the swell. So I took off and did that, and that was my plan. It took us all day to get there. We got there around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock, I think, in the afternoon. And we got it anchored down, and we got there, and it was miserable. And to get tucked in the way I wanted to, that would have been really nice. The only problem with that is that it got shoal really quickly, and if I went where there was more water, the swell was still rolling around the corner. So I went to the other side of the anchorage where it looked really nice, and we set the anchor there and some nice sand. Everything was wonderful, and I mean, everything was wonderful. It was a little bumpy, but then it got worse and oh my God, squirrel. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. I don't know what it is. You see it right there? You see that? Okay, it's down below. Some fish with a fin is right there. I don't know what it is. Okay. Oh, I think it's still there. See it right there? You could just see. Oh, it's barely breaking the surface. I don't know if you're seeing that. Hopefully you are. Anyway, it got really bad. So much so that I was in the bow, and we're coming up like 3 foot, going down 3 foot. And I mean, heaving the anchor, I was really worried I was going to break the windlass right off because, when it would come tight, it would come tight. And it hadn't, I was trying to drive over it, but the wind was howling and all that. Anyway, we backtracked 3 miles, came around to this area that's stunningly beautiful. See this? We are on the other side of the peninsula. So all that wind is blowing over the top of us, and it's flat, calm here. And there's, like I say, some mystery fish over here. Very cool. So apparently there's something, it doesn't really say, something about this is like NATO practice area or something like that. And it says it's like restricted, like you can't go ashore, but it didn't say you couldn't anchor, and it is a marked anchorage. So, and I do see that there's some locals over here, so that's good. There were 2 other ribs that had dive flags out, and I assume divers in the water, so that's kind of cool. So now we are here. Let me show you how beautiful this is. It's been a little overcast all day, but like I say, super windy, but you wouldn't know it here. And sometimes they have these katabatic winds, at night where the wind comes down, probably not something like this, but when it's a high mountain, it will blow you. As long as it's nice not having a lee shore to blow up onto if something goes wrong. So I feel pretty good about that, and pretty happy. So it's kind of funny. You would think that these things wouldn't bother me, but I just haven't been right all day. I've been kind of stressed out. I made a decision. I went to a place. It was a bad decision, or turned out not to be what I expected, or the weather report wasn't that way. And I just hated it because I don't see where we could go and get a break from that going another 50 miles south. everything is opened up to the south, and if it's blowing from the south, there's nowhere to hide. So I backtracked up here and I can hide right here. So hopefully that's going to be the plan. Hopefully we don't get kicked out. Everything will be great. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't seen the Irish Lads channel, be sure to drop me a line. I'll send you a link to it. But I really appreciate the like, subscribe, and comments. All your comments really help out the YouTube algorithm. And some of you guys buy around for us by clicking the super thanks button. Very, very cool. Thank you so much for that. I think the one I just saw was Norm. Norm has been he's been a friend of both channels and Patreon since almost day one, and Norm bought us around. So Norm, thank you very much. But there are many of you out there that have, so I can't name all of you guys. I know Norm because I've known him since the channel got started. Though there's a little puff of wind. It's kind of nice. It's still pretty hot. Anyway, speaking of Patreon, I'll put a link in the description if you'd like to be a part of the Patreon crew. We'd love to have you over there. $2 a month or whatever, and so I'll put it in there if that's your thing. We'd love to have you over there, but no pressure. Just really appreciate you guys watching. You guys take care, be safe, and as always, I'll see you on the one.